And welcome you all to session of Collective Recovery, an initiative to celebrate Indian craftsmanship. On our journey towards growing the immensely talented artisans of our society, today we have with us Parth Parekh from Design Clinic India. Hi Parth, welcome you to Kala Se Rubaru.
Hi Savni, thank you for having me here. Thank you.
Because it's our pleasure. Your products are something one definitely can't take their eyes off. Eye-catching and extremely creative as they are, the one thing that I can't get my mind off is the name of your brand, which brings me to my first question. When one says Design Clinic India, such fun-looking designs are least what someone expects to see. So, what was the story behind the brand name?
First of all, hello everyone whosoever have joined the conversation. I hope everyone is doing good. Everyone is safe. Yes, answering your first question, it's a funny answer because I come from a medicine family. So most of the family members are surgeons, doctors. So I was the creative one. I chose to adapt a different field, and that's how the name came in the picture. So Design Clinic, where clinic is very obvious that I wanted to be a specialist of what I do.
Right.
And of course,
what
design
is the professional route actually which you took?
So, in terms of I think you're asking me about the education, how it all started. I did my bachelor's in multimedia from APJ Institute of Designing. I was not a product designer before, so my undergraduation was in multimedia. So I was more or less, I was into animation. I was a hardcore animator. I was doing 3D and 2D animation,
Right.
And that was a four-year course. And so that was that product design label was nowhere near when I was doing my multimedia. And then after finishing my course, I joined this media house, NDTV, this news channel. That was my first internship, which got converted into a full-time job. And I was working as a graphic designer in that media house. So 2 years I worked there. I learned a lot. It was my first job, so it was very, very special to me. And then from there, I actually wanted to go for my higher education, but I was choosing animation to be that master label. But then one of my mentors in NDTV suggested to check this course, product designing, and that's how I kind of researched about that course, because I'm talking about 2011. So 2011, and in India, product designing was not that famous.
Right.
Now, since product designing is being offered by a lot of colleges.
As much as it is right now, famous it wasn't back then. Yeah.
Yes. So it was just hardly offered by some of the design institutes.
Right.
And during that time, I got to know about Domus Academy, which is in Milan, and they were offering a scholarship program. So they had a competition, so where they were asking to design a futuristic furniture. So since I was very, very technically sound, in all the softwares I was working on softwares, I submitted the entry. I got through, and acceptance from Domus Academy, the journey of product designing started. In 2012, I went to Italy. I finished the course. It was a 1-year design course, and then I came back to India in 2013. And again, I worked with different design thinkers. I worked with furniture designers, architects, and some were in Bombay, some were in Delhi. And then in 2015,
all as a freelancer.
No, I was working as a full-time designer.
Okay.
When I came back, so because I had to start everything from scratch.
Right.
Because I was a graphic person and I studied products.
Yeah.
So again, I was a free person. I was a starter. I was a fresher. Then in 2015, I started my own brand
All right.
by the name of
So I
Design
think
Clinic
that's
India.
how the name also comes to it. So
Yes.
Design Clinic basically is like a culmination of your work and your family's business.
Yes. It was like there, like, the name and that thing, because I think my mother's side, they're very creative, like,
Oh, okay.
so that was there in the blood. So yeah, and then I wanted to start my own studio. That
Yeah,
was the dream since the beginning. So yeah, that's how Design Clinic came in the picture, and yeah,
it's a
it's been
great
5 years.
journey to begin with. So
Yeah.
tell us about the range of products and services you offer.
So basically, Design Clinic India, being a product designer, it is a product design studio initially,
Right.
and I started off with furniture designing. Like when I designed the first collection, it was all furniture, and after designing furniture, I thought to do some lights, because product design depends on the brief, like what inspiration you're working
Yeah.
on. Products are everything, like a small toothpick to a big Boeing 737. Everything is a product. But I chose to do furniture because, interestingly, my thesis project in Domus Academy was with a very iconic Italian company, Gufram.
Oh, wow.
I was working on an Indian concept, so and that was a furniture. So that's how like the inclination came. The furniture design started, and then after some years, a lot of people started asking me, "Do you do interior designing?" And that's how actually some people forced me to do their interiors. And like I'm talking about commercial projects, some cafes and restaurants in Delhi, and I did those. So then it added in my portfolio that I've been a product designer. I do products also. I do furniture also, lights. That's why I call it a multi-dimensional design studio.
Okay. So, but currently in the era of really minimalistic designers who are looking towards minimalism, how do you come up about the idea of designing something so quirky and fun? Because it's a really rare thing which I have seen in the field of designing at least.
See, that was the idea. That's how that generated. Like when I was doing my thesis, I chose India. So that the label was made in India. And then when I came back, I had somewhere in my mind that when I start my studio, it has to be under that tagline, Made in India. So and since India is like we have so many cultures, we have a lot of like it's a colorful land, so I have this tagline where I say our country never fails to inspire us, and I was very proud to work under that label. And since when you are designing as a designer, as a design thinker, when you're working under this label, so automatically your designs, it kind of the colors kind of jumps in.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I'm telling a story.
Indian culture, the colors and the liveliness directly gets connected to the entire concept.
Exactly. And then people, think that, obviously end product becomes so happy and positive and we work on originality. So, we believe not to adapt or, obviously the copy thing never happens with me. I try to give fresh every time I design anything. So that quirkiness, happiness, colorfulness, everything is like, because we are talking about India.
Yeah.
So my products are very festive.
So I believe that's how you narrow down on your style as well. So
exactly. Yeah.
So what category do you list down your style under?
So there's no one category. I would rather say that there are different categories. So maybe it could, because since everything is handmade, so handcrafted is one of the key words. And then other one, which is the most important, is originality. So originality is one category which, could be the first one. And then handmade, handcrafted is something which we do because we're talking about India. Everything is handmade by our talented karigars. And minimalistic, we do minimalistic furniture. So initially, when I started off, I was doing like big pieces of furniture, big products, but now I have shot it down. Like I'm focusing more on minimalistic furniture.
You're trying to strike the balance between minimal and yet fun and quirky.
Quirky, yes. Yeah. So yeah.
So your designs really just shout out quirky. It's really attractive to have a look
you,
at
you you can say that, I do artistic furniture. Artistic, like,
Definitely.
it has that art, like, it
It
maybe
has.
if you're, so it increases the value of any space, like if you put
Yeah.
anything. So
So tell us about the process right from inception to an idea, like the inception of an idea to the finished product. How do you go about it?
So I believe, as a design thinker, everyone has like they have to follow certain, rules or anything. So I try to be very open, like, research is always there. You have to research before designing anything. So
Correct.
research, in the initial stages, we chase for inspiration, like, because that's the main element. Because if you don't get inspired from anything, you can't deliver a final product. So
I agree.
first is we chase for inspiration, then we do a lot of sketches. I do sketching, like not like very, very attractive sketches, but very quick sketches. I try to keep it very orthodox. Like, initially I used to use a lot of softwares, but now I've switched back to paper and pencil. I do a lot of sketching, and then
I
of
believe
course
sketching, nothing gives the result as sketching does. The thoughts flowing into paper directly.
So I mean, like, I have that freedom because I don't work under anyone, so I can sketch myself. I have that liberty of sketching my ideas and showing it to my karigar. So sketching is very important. And then of course we kind of use softwares for creating like color palettes and mood board. Like, when we have a lot of pictures and we create a mood board, and that's another thing. And then there's like a final sketch, to show it to our karigar that, this is what we want to do. Ye hame banana hai. And then of course we make the final product, and then we test it, and then we market. So this is how, I kind of.
So on a general basis, how long do you take to finish a product?
Depends on the product, depends on
Right,
the product, like what exactly we are doing. Because since handmade pieces are very labor intensive. It takes time. So, but we kind of, I mean, like, we have a team now. They're with me for more than 2 years, so they understand what we are doing. So rather explaining it to someone new, like if we have a new karigar, then obviously it takes time. And then we don't want to rush and ruin the product or ruin whatever prototype we are doing. So it takes time. But so that's how we go about it. Like, that's the process.
Okay. And so how do you go about explaining the various materials you use in your product?
So it depends on the product, like what exactly we're doing. Again, like depends on the philosophy. What is the inspiration? What's the product asking for? So, if there's something which requires wood, then we research wood. And then if we are like, if we are incorporating some craft with that, so then we study the craft. But everything is like, materials are very local. Like whatever we do, they are very locally available. So that's how.
So do you have some kind of concepts where you go? Because I like a lot of your products like spoke a lot about maybe the Gujarati style or some were really Rajasthani. So do you have some concepts for every product of yours?
So since I belong to Gujarat, like, my roots are Gujarati.
Okay.
Sometimes people think that I just do Rajasthani Gujarati style furniture, but it's not like that. So basically, yes, if you're talking about India, there are a lot of places to get inspired from. But then, I also get inspiration from local scenarios. It could be anywhere in the market, like, it could be anything. So it's not necessary that I'm doing some state. Yes, I'm like, we have a lot of things to get inspired from, since we are talking about India. But inspiration can come from anywhere. That can inspire you, and then it depends on you as a creative design thinker, how you execute that. How you build that, and how people are accepting the product or not. So that's also a big challenge. So
So what are different types of materials you have explored so far, and which is your favorite?
So we have explored wood, metal, then fabrics, foam. So these are the basic materials which we have started.
I believe in the fabric only there's a huge variety which you have explored so far.
Yeah, so that's what fabric and all which what kind of style I'm doing right now requires a lot of fabric, foam,
Right.
and I did wood, I did metal, I did ply, different types of ply. So yeah, these kind of materials we have used. I study about materials also. I haven't not used them, but I know about a lot of materials which are there available in the market. But since my work and my design aesthetic, maybe it doesn't require those materials. So yeah, so these are the materials like wood, metal,
Which is your
ply.
favorite? You haven't mentioned that yet.
Well, if you ask me my favorite, it has to be fabric for now, because I'm doing fabrics, a lot of fabrics.
So fabric and both of fabric and metal, what's your favorite combination?
So it's basically, I'm doing lightweight pieces right now. So I am pretty much focusing on 3 materials. So there's plywood, there's different densities of foam, and then of course fabrics. And then we have our the secret ingredients which are coming in the picture, when we are doing that. So for now, yes, it has to be fabric, foam, a combination of 3: fabric, foam, and plywood. So yeah.
Yeah, that's great. And what about your team? How is your execution done? What is the distribution in your team?
To be honest, I'm working on my own. I'm working as an individual. But then, of course, nothing is possible without a team. So the core team is they're my karigars basically. The people who are working for me. And then, of course, the main team, what I consider is my family. They're always there, since the beginning. So for every single thing we do, since designers, we are doing designing, we are making products, but then we are also packaging them. We are packing the material, labeling the products, everything by us, the family.
So it's a complete whole and soul of family business that you are carrying.
Yeah, I mean, family support is there. Obviously, everyone is busy in their lives, but yes, whenever I ask for little bit of guidance and help, yes, family is always there. And then, of course, my karigars. The karigars are always there. They just call away.
So how many you have?
So there are different people. We have so I don't have a full-time workshop where we do wood, metal. So for that kind of work, we outsource. So we have people nearby. So we have a local fabricator who has a small workshop. Then we have a local wood person who has a small workshop. And then the fabric and the upholstery work happens at my place, at my studio.
Okay.
So all the dirty work happens outside. The finishing, assembly, and everything happens at my place, at my studio.
And so describe some personal favorite product of yours, some creation, and how you went about creation and the general take on a design from paper to.
So one product which has done really good is my Tokri Poof, which I designed, which is part of the Phool Mandi collection. So Tokri Poof is part of the Phool Mandi collection. I designed that collection in 2017, and that is very close to me because that was one collection which we exhibited in 2017, and then it did wonders. A lot of people appreciated, people loved it. And then the process of Tokri Poof was also very, very happy and very interesting. At that time, I remember I had an intern. I was doing this interior project in Delhi, and then during that time we were also researching about new ideas. So this intern of mine, we were both. We were just researching, and and that's how we kind of came across this Phool Mandi collection. And then we started sketching and a lot of softwares we did and all to maybe just to clear our heads what exactly we want to do. So and then the process started. We called the karigars. Obviously, we also it was very difficult to choose the right material for this collection because we're talking about Phool Mandi. So we are talking about flower markets of India. So I had to be very So yeah, luckily, here I kind of roam around in local markets. Since now COVID, we don't go anywhere. But then initial days, when we were doing this, I used to roam around in local markets in Delhi. So, and then I found some materials which kind of become like our Food Mandi collection. So I must say Tokri Poo from our Food Mandi collection, it's because people have loved
It
it.
is definitely a very fascinating product. I agree to that completely. So now where do you eventually sell your designs?
So it has to be purely online. We do purely online. Like when I started, and when obviously we built a small website of ours. Like when I started my brand, so it was a normal portfolio website. Yes, people can order from that website, but it was a very simple website. But then slowly we kind of we shifted everything on social media like Instagram and Facebook.
Okay.
And now we have WhatsApp also. So now people are taking advantage of all these tools which are available. So we started marketing, and then of course we started getting messages from people who want to order. So yeah, so it's a very like simple process. If anyone wants to order, they go, they write to us, and then we kind of send them details. We ask for details. So it's completely like we don't have an e-commerce platform, but yes, it's a very simple process. And then apart from this, yes, we have collaborated with some of the well curated marketplaces like e-commerce platforms. So we have collaborated with them also. And then last year I did my studio. So we have like products which are there in the studio. So people who want to come and see before buying, so they can come. So I just have my studio in Delhi. I don't have any other studio. So right now we're just doing.
But have you held any exhibitions?
Yes. A lot of exhibitions. Yes. So
okay, that's great. Because I believe apart from e-commerce, that is one game changer for everyone.
Truly, I fully agree with you. Like I think exhibitions were because initially we were like because there was no space, there was no showroom. Like I did everything from scratch. So exhibitions, I was aware of exhibitions before starting my studio. Also, I used to go to these exhibitions. So it was my dream, to participate in some of the exhibitions where obviously you can get an eyeball, where people can come physically see your stuff. So so I think exhibitions also helped me a lot. Like it really gave me that eyeball.
Yeah. And so who has been your primary target audience all these years?
Initially the target audiences were like mainly interior designers. They used to inquire, architects, of course. And I believe, people who truly understand design and who love aesthetics, they are the ones, who kind of, if they kind of come across my brand and they see some of the products, they become my clients, and it's, maybe you can see it's a very niche market. It's a very niche thing because, yes. So those are the people. And now, since last year, we started working with a lot of wedding planners, who are doing weddings, very, very curated wedding, you can say, theme-based weddings. So,
all right.
So they are
also, they became... about it. Like your products really shout like this is a wedding thing. So I was going to ask you if you also cater to weddings as one of your clients.
Yeah, it actually all of a sudden, like I remember people telling me, like my design colleagues and all that why don't you kind of hunt for event people and wedding people? Right, so I never got an opportunity to kind of write to them, but they kind of wrote to me directly, when they came across my profile, and then ultimately some of them became my clients.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
So so most, do I assume like most of your clients are towards the commercial side, or do you have your residential customers as well?
Both, but majorly maybe you can say commercial, because obviously there are residential people also who orders, but I think majority of it is commercial. Like if I'm talking about event and wedding, so these are all commercial.
Yeah.
So commercial, because that's what I have calculated so far. But it's like both residential and commercial both.
Okay. And so have you collaborated with, like you say you have karigars, so are they like local artisans and craftsmen, or how have you brought about all of these people together?
So for some, like when we do a craft, then of course we kind of collaborate with that authentic craftsman, like from that particular place.
Yeah.
Like I remember I did one Chanapatna collection. So I went to Chanapatna, which is in South India, which is a craft of India. And I went there, I met the Karigar, and then I visited the workshop. And then obviously when you explain the concept and everything. So yes, we do, like sometimes when you are doing like a hardcore collection where the craft is like the USP of your product.
Right.
So we do that, and then apart from that we have Karigars. Like Karigars, when you talk about Karigars, so now my people who are working for me, they were actually upholstery people, you know. They were doing sofas and chairs and all those kind of things.
Right.
But then when two mentality come together, like me and them, things change, because they have the karigari, they use their hand, and we are using our head to create something fresh. So when you are training them, and it's a give and take, you are taking from them also, you're educating them also, and then they now, since like they are there with me for more than 2 years, they can do anything, apart from doing any craft. But then if you're doing a story or a design, then these people, they know what exactly we have to, what is the route, like what exactly.
So you have a fixed number of karigars who are there with you always, and some which come and go as per your product and the requirements of the product.
Yeah. So see, there's no full-time karigar. We don't have any full-time karigar.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Whenever we have like an order, when we have an order, or when anyone inquires, and then we have a fixed, like when we have to do that, then I call them.
Okay.
Yes, then I call them. Apart from that, like I work on my own, So I, like, before doing anything, because most of
Sorry. So I was saying, so do you customize your products also as per the requirement of the client, or do you strictly sell from your catalog?
So initially, it was strictly from our catalog. We used to sell only what's available with us.
Right.
But then there were like little bit of customization when people are like, looking for some height increase or decrease. Like people want कि okay, मुझे ये वाली height दे दो, ये design चाहिए, but हमको थोड़ा low करके दे दो.
Alright.
So that is
basic
possible.
tweaking your hair.
So that is possible, and then obviously they also sometimes ऐसे भी queries आती है that आप color, हमको ऐसा कुछ color कर सकते हैं हम लोग. So they also sometimes your client only suggest you, like आप हमें ऐसा करके दे दीजिए, and then we kind of tell them कि ठीक है, we'll do it, and then somehow that particular piece
ends up being much better,
and it becomes the part of your catalog. ऐसा भी होता है, कभी client ही बोल देते हैं कि इसको ऐसे ऐसे करो, तो हमें idea आ जाता है कि अच्छा ये भी कर सकते हैं. So
I think that's how you explore, you grow and learn also.
Yeah, of course. You're not stealing from them, but you as a design thinker, they're just giving you some keywords.
That's a part of
they are just giving you
process.
some clues. It's like a treasure hunt. वो हमें clues दे रहे हैं कि ऐसा हमने कहा ठीक है, अरे वाह, हम इसको जोड़ के कुछ बना सकते हैं. So that happens.
Right. I think that's a part of every designer's field. The client suggests a lot of things, and in the process you end up learning a great deal.
Correct. Exactly. Yes, I truly agree.
So, did you have any period of struggle of yours? Like, I'm sure there is a struggle period for everyone to reach a particular milestone in their life. So, what has yours been?
Struggles and challenges are always there, since if you become famous, if you get a lot of work, still challenges are there. I believe struggle. Everyone has did their bit of struggle, to come to become a name, or to become an identity. So I did a lot of struggle. Right. I know I used to go to a lot of these local markets and local places, and to find people who can work with me, who can actually understand what exactly I want to do. And so yes, I mean, that's part of the struggle. And then to create anything, to create a name for yourself, a brand, a product, everything requires a struggle, right from the beginning.
That's true.
So frustrations are there. Everything is there. But it's that's
so
how
what has
you grow.
What has been the biggest challenge so far?
Challenges are every day. Right now, again, it's a major challenge what we are facing. because of this pandemic. But then I believe that people kind of take advantage of this situation. They can do a lot of things. They can come up with a lot of things, and every day there's a challenge. Every day there's a challenge.
Yeah.
कि क्या करें,
Yeah,
क्या ना
definitely.
करें. So that's what you ask a lot of questions to yourself कि अब क्या करना है, अब कैसे आगे करना है, बढ़ना है, क्या करेंगे. Because there are a lot of trends in the market. I kind of obviously that you have to keep yourself updated as a designer. But क्या
Yeah.
होता है कि मार्केट में ट्रेंड्स भी आते हैं, डिजाइनर्स ट्रेंड भी लॉन्च करते हैं, बड़ी बड़ी कंपनीज. I believe because मेरे को ऐसा लगता है कि मैं अपना ट्रेंड खुद बनाना चाहता हूँ. I want to be a trend maker rather following a trend. I become the trend.
You're a trendsetter.
Trendsetter, you can say that, yes. And I don't feel proud about that, but it's just that that's what I do. That's what I have did these last 5 years. And I'm still following that.
Yeah, great. So what are you currently working on?
So honestly, currently, I think I just sent you also. We are doing festive Rakhis.
Yeah, the Rakhis.
Yeah, we're doing.
Okay.
So it all suddenly it happened, and because we sometimes we have a lot of materials which is left over,
Right.
Because we are doing volume products, we are doing big stuff.
Yeah.
So कुछ चीजें बच जाती है, कुछ चीजें होती है. So we don't, हम उसको फेंकते नहीं है. मतलब हमें लगता है कि
in cool language we would say best out of waste.
Best out of waste, and वो भी फिर हम अब now since it's a festival time, people are kind of they don't want to go in the markets.
Yeah.
Looking कि हमें online मिल जाए. So we did that, and then I was a little late in posting and marketing these Rakhis. It was done by my mother. So me and my mother, we both sat and we. So it's handmade by my mother. So.
Oh wow.
So yeah.
Okay, so what would you like to say? What would you like to say to the future designers out there?
Future designers. First thing, what I did was keeping everything very original and fresh. Keep everything. Power of originality works. Takes time.
True.
लोगों के दिमाग में register होने में time लगता है, but it works. You have to be very patient. You have to give some years and all. And then stick to your roots. Since I am very rooted, I work, and now since everyone is doing Made in India label, people want to be a proud label of like any Indian brand. So that's one thing. And then I believe collaboration with like-minded people, design thinkers, also helps. In this situation, collaboration is very interesting. It could work, it could fail, but at least you can get to know a person, like in that way.
That's true.
And then, I think originality, and then when you do something with full heart and honesty, hard work, stick to that. And every profession requires that. And I think you will definitely nail it.
I think you can't be a designer if you're not original. So that comes as a part and parcel of being a designer.
Exactly, yes, truly.
That's some great advice to our future designers out there. And it was great talking to you, understanding your journey and process. Thank you so much for having you with us today.
Thank you, Samni. Thank you so much.